The sun blazed mercilessly over Macerata, Italy, as the celebrated Corpus Christi procession unfolded in a wave of color and faith. From the vibrant crowd, 15-year-old Carlo Acutis, battling leukemia, felt an urgent pull toward a priest radiating warmth, his heart racing with a silent vow to unravel the miraculous tale of the sacred snow that blanketed pilgrims in the sweltering heat of 1556. As Carlo embarked on this quest for truth amid his own fragility, a flicker of fear ignited within him. Could he uncover the miracle before time slipped away? But to understand how this journey began, we need to go back to the beginning. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments where you're listening from. The warm sun cast a brilliant hue over Macerata, Italy, as the city prepared for the cherished Corpus Christi procession. It was June 2005, a time when the air buzzed with excitement, the streets alive with chatter and laughter. Pilgrims traveled from all corners of the region, donning their finest clothes, carrying banners and flowers, eager to partake in this annual celebration of faith. Among them stood Carlo Acutis, a 15-year-old boy with an unyielding passion for truth and a heart brimming with devotion. He was not just a tranquil observer, he was a young man on a mission. The vibrant colors of the procession danced around him, yet his keen eyes looked beyond the spectacle, toward something deeper, something profound. Carlo was driven by a quest to understand the miracles that his faith spoke of, particularly the legendary wonders connected to the Eucharist. As the crowd swelled, Carlo felt a mixture of joy and concern. His parents walked closely by his side, their faces reflecting the earnestness of their faith, but also the weight of the recent news they had received. Carlo had been diagnosed with leukemia, and the prognosis implied limited time left. Yet on this day of celebration, he chose to embrace the spirit encircling him, yearning to find inspiration in the very miracles he sought to document. With each step closer to the main square, where the Eucharistic procession would take place, Carlo's heart raced. The air was filled with the fragrance of blooming flowers, and the sounds of excited conversations melded with hymns floating from the cathedral. Families clasped hands, children ran playfully, while older men and women shared the memories of past processions, recounting tales of faith and miracles anew. Carlo felt an undeniable connection to this tapestry of life swirling around him. "Look, Carlo," his mother pointed toward the central altar that had been beautifully adorned for the celebration. As they approached, Carlo's eyes shimmered with admiration. Here was more than a religious ritual. This was a sanctuary of hope, where people came together to express their faith and seek solace in the presence of the divine. In that moment, Carlo's gaze landed on an elderly priest standing beside the altar, preparing for the start of the procession. He radiated a warmth that drew Carlo closer. Memories of countless stories shared by his family about this very priest flooded his mind. Stories of how he had guided generations of believers through their faith journeys. Carlo felt compelled to introduce himself, to learn more about the roots of the event that resonated so profoundly within him. "Padre," Carlo called out, his voice resonating with enthusiasm. The priest turned, a gentle smile lighting up his face. "I've heard about the miracle of the sacred snow that took place during the procession in 1556. Can you tell me more about it?" The priest chuckled softly, his eyes sparkling as he began recounting the tale. "Ah, Carlo, that day was extraordinary. Imagine the heat, a day scorching with the sun beating down mercilessly on the people. And then, suddenly, snow began to fall, covering the crowd with white flakes. It was a sign from God, a manifestation of His love for us all." Carlo leaned in, enraptured by the magic of the story, transported back in time to that miraculous day. As the priest continued, Carlo's mind whirled with possibilities. How could snow fall on such a hot day? It had to be a miracle. This intriguing thought solidified his determination to study this extraordinary moment in history. He envisioned himself delving into research, collecting testimonies, and perhaps even speaking with modern meteorologists to investigate the science behind such a phenomenon. In the midst of their conversation, the procession began its march forward, bringing Carlo back to the present moment. The townsfolk sang chants in unison, creating a beautiful harmony that echoed through the air. Carlo took in the scene, the waves of faith washing over him like a revitalizing tide. Reluctant to leave the priest's side, but drawn to join his family in the celebration, he felt the spirit of the procession calling to him. Participants dressed in vibrant robes carried ornate decorations, each step of the procession filled with meaning and reverence. As Carlo walked among the crowd, he was engulfed by a sense of belonging. Each individual, each family, anchored into their faith, seemed to invite him to be part of something greater. He imagined how the snow falling during the procession could have lifted the spirits of those who struggled, and he longed to share that experience with others. Yet, even as he reveled in the celebration, shadows of uncertainty flickered at the edges of his mind. Carlo's condition reminded him of the fragility of life, and he pondered whether he could embark on this pursuit of understanding before time might slip away. Deep inside, he felt a fierce resolve building. He would not let illness define him. Instead, he would seek an understanding that could bring hope not only to himself, but to all those who needed to believe in miracles. "Carlo!" a voice called, breaking his train of thought. It was his father, motioning him to come closer. The warm glow of the procession enveloped him as he joined his family near the altar. Just before the Eucharistic celebration commenced, Carlo made a silent vow to himself. He would dig into the miracle of the sacred snow, unravel its layers, and share its story with the world. With renewed vigor in his heart, he turned toward the facade of the grand cathedral, ready to witness not just a celebration of faith, but the start of a journey that would intertwine history, spirituality, and hope. As the music crescendoed and the crowd's voices united in worship, Carlo understood that this was just the beginning. He was about to step into a world where faith and miracles danced together, each moment ripe with the potential for understanding, where his own struggles could illuminate the path for others navigating their own challenges. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the heavens in shades of orange and lavender, Carlo felt a mixture of exhilaration and solemnity. The procession, now past the cathedral, had brought forth a wave of spiritual vitality. He stood at the center of the swirling emotions around him, a vibrant community celebrating the essence of their faith, entwined with the promise of miracles. Yet, as the last echoes of hymns faded, Carlo's mind raced with thoughts of the miracle of the sacred snow. The stories he yearned to uncover amplified his determination, spurring him on to seek the truth behind that extraordinary day in 1556. With the crowd gradually dispersing, Carlo felt a rush of purpose. He approached elders and historians, drawn not merely by their age, but by the wealth of stories woven into their lives. "Excuse me," he began, his voice steady but filled with eagerness. "I'm searching for more information about the sacred snow. Could you share what you know?" The first man he approached, a weathered old gentleman with silver hair, looked thoughtful. "Ah, the sacred snow," he said, a smile breaking across his face. "It's a story many of us treasure. I was a child when I first heard it from my grandfather, a tale of divine love showering down on God's faithful." The reverence in the man's tone brought warmth to Carlo's heart as he imagined the wonder and awe of that time. Encouraged, Carlo pressed for specifics. "Do you recall details of that day? What was it like to witness such a miracle?" The man leaned in, his voice dropping to a whisper as though sharing a secret. The sun blazed, the heat was unbearable, yet suddenly snowflakes began to fall, pinching our cheeks with their cool touch. We were all confused at first. What could be happening? But then laughter erupted, joy filled our hearts, and we realized it was God's sign to us, a testament to His love. Carlo nodded thoughtfully, savoring the nuances of the story, feeling a shimmer of enlightenment push through his chest. Did people think it was real? Did anyone explore how that could happen? "Ah, that's the mystery, my boy," the elder said, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "Many wondered if it was a miracle of nature or a grace from above. But the incident ignited an unshakable faith in the hearts of the people. For generations they passed down the stories. They knew it wasn't just snow, it was hope." Fueling his enthusiasm, Carlo thanked the gentleman and moved on, eager to weave together the threads of history that painted that miraculous day. His mind raced with connections. This wasn't merely academic. It was a chance to affirm faith, to bring light to the shadows that sometimes crept into daily life. As he walked through the market square, beautiful stalls filled with fresh fruits and pastries bustled with vendors and patrons. He caught sight of an elderly woman selling religious artifacts, her hands skilled and deliberate as she crafted rosaries. Inspired to connect, Carlo approached. "Excuse me, ma'am, could you tell me about the sacred snow? How has it impacted the faith of the community?" The woman's eyes widened, and she beamed with the delight of sharing something precious. "Sweet child, that day transformed our village forever. My mother often spoke of it, how her sorrow shifted to joy as the snow fell. People deep in doubt felt renewed. Hope sprang eternal in their hearts. Everyone connected with God in a new way, reassured that He was active in our lives." Her enthusiasm was infectious, and Carlo basked in it. "Did it inspire you personally?" he pressed, eager to hear first-hand accounts of inspiration and witnesses transformed by that moment. "It did indeed," she exclaimed, handing him a small rosary. "Whenever I find myself in difficult times, I close my eyes and remember that snowfall, how gentle and unexpected it was. It serves as a reminder to trust in God's presence, even amidst our trials." Gratefulness welled up inside Carlo, acknowledging the importance of small acts of faith that radiated hope throughout the years. He realized the significance of connecting with the community, collecting these stories that crossed generational boundaries to form an unbreakable link between past and present. As the sun started to set, casting hues of pink and gold over the cobbled streets, he made his way toward the town library. He knew that the archives would hold secrets, historical documentation, and possibly newspaper clippings of that fateful day. Walking through the library's grand entrance, he was met with the scent of aged paper and the serene silence that only a sanctuary of knowledge could provide. He approached the librarian, an older lady with spectacles perched on her nose, absorbed in an enormous tome. "Excuse me," Carlo began. "I'm searching for records on the miracle of the sacred snow. Could you help me find anything regarding that event?" The librarian nodded, her interest piqued. "Yes, we have some references. Please follow me." She led him to a section stacked with dusty volumes and historical records. "Here you go, dear. I'll pull out the documents we have from that year." Excitement buzzed through Carlo's veins as he watched her take out old newspapers and fragile manuscripts, their edges frayed with age. "Let me know if you need help." With a warm smile, she wandered back to her desk, leaving Carlo in the realm of history. He opened the oldest newspaper and scanned the yellowed pages. Articles detailed the extraordinary snowfall, the emotions of citizens, and even featured drawings of the event, capturing the excited chatter of the day. Each entry breathed life into the words. He could almost feel the cold air as the snow fell above the solemn procession. With each passing moment, Carlo realized how profoundly this investigation would shape him. These stories of miracles were not just relics of faith, but came alive in voicing the resilience of hope amid struggles. They called attention to the difficulties inherent in life, showing how faith can emerge as an unwavering force. As he leafed through documents, an article caught his eye. Captivating headlines spoke of the divine intervention of the snow. His heart rate quickened, and he met each line with intensity, noting key phrases that showcased the testimonials of grateful townspeople whose lives had been transformed. Carlo spent hours poring over the pages, the evening sunlight slipping through the library's windows, gradually dimming and casting a soft glow over the texts before him. Immersed in the stories, he felt like a bridge between the past and the present, bound by a purpose far greater than himself. He would share these miracles and illuminate the path for others, kindling flames of hope where shadows once lay. As he closed the last book and prepared to leave, Carlo felt accomplished. Armed with stories etched in time, infused with love and faith, he knew he would soon share the legend of the sacred snow, merging it with the voices of those who had witnessed magic unfold. One by one, he would inspire others, breathing life into their struggles with the radiant promise of miracles and the enduring power of belief. The excitement of the past few weeks pulsed through Carlo as he stepped into a new rhythm of life, infused with purpose. Armed with the stories of hope and miracles he had collected, he felt a hunger to share them not only within the walls of his school and community, but to reach far beyond, painting a broader canvas where faith could inspire others. In those quiet moments after school, Carlo dedicated himself to weaving the tales he had compiled into a coherent narrative. He envisioned the first pages loaded with the historical facts that set the stage for the sacred snow, and then transitioned into the heartfelt testimonials he had gathered over the weeks. Each voice carried a unique perspective, a different battle with despair transformed into hope, and he longed to present the entire tapestry for others to experience. One afternoon, he sat at his desk, a collection of papers strewn before him, unfurling the narrative arc in his mind. Setting down his pencil, he took a deep breath, reminding himself of the power these stories held. They conveyed not just miracles, but also deep-seated messages of resilience, community, and the enduring spirit of faith that persists even in the face of adversity. He recalled the elderly woman, Mrs. Rossi, and how her story of loneliness turned into a beautiful expression of community love. The way the townsfolk rallied around her during her darkest days resonated deeply within him. It wasn't just about the snow, it was about the warmth of humanity finding ways to connect with one another. He began to write, allowing the pen to flow freely across the page. In the face of grief, when the weight of life threatened to bury hope, a community stepped in, bringing warmth when the cold threatened to overwhelm. It was kindness that wrapped around Mrs. Rossi, turning shadows into a sanctuary of light. Carlo wrote furiously, the swirling emotions finding form on paper as he introduced his storyline, enabling readers to understand the essence of what the sacred snow had brought to their lives. He dug deeper, reflecting on the very personal journey intertwined with historical elements. Just as he penned the breakthrough moments, his thoughts drifted back to the gathering he had hosted. The way his peers had opened up, sharing their own miracles, sparked a realization within him. This wasn't just his story to tell, it was a collective narrative belonging to the whole community. Each person contributed to the rich legacy of faith, love, and resilience. He wanted those voices to echo loudly, so he meticulously crafted a section dedicated to the evening of shared stories. On that night, he wrote, different lives converged in celebration of faith, intertwining their histories in a tapestry of hope. From the laughter of youth to the wisdom of elders, each story created a symphony of belief. We were not just individuals, we were woven together in divine purpose. As the days passed, Carlo felt the contours of his project beginning to take shape. But soon, a flicker of doubt crept in. Would others connect with the message as deeply as he had? Taking a break, he sought solace under a grand oak tree in the park nearby. Its sturdy branches stood strong above him, each leaf whispering ancient secrets. He pondered the fleeting nature of life and how quickly moments could shift from tragedy to triumph. This journey is meant to inspire, he reminded himself, recalling each story that had impacted him significantly. With renewed resolve, he set out to find more voices, reaching beyond those he had already known. He began visiting different parts of town, embracing opportunities to speak with older residents, community leaders, and even newer members of the parish who might have fresh perspectives. He spoke with Mrs. Gallo, a feisty woman in her 80s who held life experiences that poured out like a river. "Miracles have a funny way of finding you, dear," she said as they sat on her porch, the sun dipping low in the sky. "When my husband fell ill, I didn't think I could go on. But then I found strength in the community that surrounded us. Friends would come over, bringing meals, laughter, and warmth when I needed it most." Carlo listened intently, her words wrapping around him like a comforting blanket. He dutifully transcribed her account, translating her resilience into narrative for his project. As he jotted down her story, he saw the connection to the sacred snow unfolding, the realization that miracles often walked hand in hand with community kindness. In his excitement, he returned home to compile the fresh accounts and weave them into his unfolding manuscript. He realized that every story was a testament to the transformative power of faith, echoing the messages of the sacred snow. They were layered experiences, united by common threads of hope. After several weeks of intense writing and gathering stories, Carlo sat back, reflecting on what he had created. He felt immense pride and gratitude. He had crafted a humble collection that celebrated miracles, no longer mere anecdotes, but vibrant illustrations of the strength found within community and faith. With his manuscript complete, Carlo decided he wanted to share it in a more public way. He could create an exhibition inviting people to connect with these narratives. The idea lit a spark inside him, igniting enthusiasm that propelled him forward. This would provide a living space for miracles to resonate, allow the community to mingle with their shared history, and provide a platform for everyone to speak about their experiences. As he floated the idea past his parents, they radiated with support, encouraging him to pursue a small exhibition at the community center. "Why not share the love and faith that we carry in our hearts?" his father mused, clapping him on the back with pride. "You have a gift, Carlo. Allow others to see it." And so the wheels in Carlo's mind began to turn. He began crafting invitations, reaching out to community members, and planning the layout of the exhibit. He envisioned artwork, images of the snowfall, and the stories scattered throughout. A vibrant tapestry woven from the community's many voices. In the days leading up to the exhibition, Carlo worked tirelessly. He captured stories on posters, painted vibrant visuals depicting the snowfall, and arranged various sections for people to explore. Each piece represented the essence of hope, illuminating how the sacred snow had touched lives and inspired miracles throughout the years. The night of the exhibit arrived, and attendees trickled in, filling the community center with joy and laughter. Seeing familiar faces light up as they engaged with the displays warmed Carlo's heart. He watched as parents read the accounts of their neighbors to their children, the younger generation learning about history intricately tied to their lives. As people shared their personal experiences amid the backdrop of the exhibit, Carlo felt a sense of tranquility wash over him. The sights, sounds, and stories reciprocated the energy he had invested, breathing life into the narratives he had brought to light. They had moments of joy and reflection intertwined, further solidifying the community's bond through faith's tapestry. In that space, he truly saw the miraculous. It wasn't confined to just one moment in time, but flowed throughout lives, intertwined with the intricate fabric of their shared existence. With every account he heard that evening, he understood that miracles lived on in their hearts, illuminating the way forward even in the darkest hours. Ultimately, by sharing their stories, the townspeople stepped onto common ground, a reminder that in faith and love they were never truly alone. Each embrace carried warmth, and each story resonated with love, giving rise to a hope that united them all. As guests began to leave, Carlo felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes, a sense of fulfillment blossoming in his chest. This gathering had become a testament to the enduring power of faith and community. He had accomplished not just a project, but had forged connections that would continue to inspire others long into the future, proving that miracles, like the sacred snow, were fleeting yet transformative, gifts awaiting discovery. In the weeks that followed the successful exhibition, Carlo felt a profound shift within himself and his community. The connections nurtured during the gathering were not fleeting moments. They had forged a collective spirit that continued to grow stronger. Inspired by the stories that had emerged, he found himself contemplating how to keep the spirit of the sacred snow alive, anchoring the miracles firmly in the hearts of those around him. As the vibrant autumn leaves began to blanket Macerata, Carlo felt the urge to embark on a new project, a documentary that would capture the essence of faith through a lens that transcended time. This film would delve into the lives of those who had experienced miracles, juxtaposing their personal accounts with the overarching tale of the sacred snow. To kick off this ambitious plan, Carlo reached out to his teachers, friends, and community members, seeking volunteers who might want to help bring this project to life. The response was overwhelming, reflecting the unity that had blossomed in the wake of the exhibition. Each person brought their unique skills to the table. Some were artists, while others had experience with videography or editing. Together, they formed a small but dedicated crew ready to document the work of miracles within their community. Carlo assembled a list of potential interviewees for the documentary, individuals who had been part of the previous gatherings and new faces he had encountered. The group immersed themselves in selecting locations around Macerata that held historical significance, outlining a roadmap that would take them through both the cherished past and the vibrant present. The day finally arrived for their first filming session, and a flurry of excitement ricocheted through the air. Carlo stood in front of the camera, adrenaline coursing through his veins as he explained the mission of the documentary. We set out to capture how faith thrives in our lives through moments of struggle, how miracles, much like the snow that fell upon our ancestors, can still reveal themselves amidst our daily journeys. His words hung in the air, suffused with hope as they embarked on this newfound quest for inspiration. The crew began their first interview with Mrs. Gallo, the spirited woman who had spoken to Carlo about the miracle of friendship during health struggles. As they set up the camera in her cozy sitting room, filled with quaint decorations and photographs chronicling her life, Carlo felt a surge of gratitude for her willingness to share. "Tell us about that flower you found, Mrs. Gallo, the one that blossomed in your garden during such a dark time," he prompted gently, eager to draw out the magic of her story. Mrs. Gallo's eyes twinkled with warmth as she leaned forward, recounting the details. "Ah, yes, that precious little flower. My heart was heavy. I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders while tending to the garden, believing my joy had withered away along with my husband. Yet there it was, blooming defiantly in the soil, a bright yellow flower against the backdrop of a fading gray landscape. Suddenly, I was infused with hope." As she spoke, Carlo noticed tears glistening in her eyes, reflective of both sorrow and strength interwoven within her narrative. She had found the miraculous in nature's resilience, an embodiment of how hope could indeed flourish even amid despair. Between filming sessions, Carlo and his crew gathered to review footage and brainstorm narratives. Conversations flowed freely as they exchanged ideas on how best to interconnect the stories they had gathered. Each voice added dimensions upon dimensions to their exploration of faith, weaving together a rich tapestry of personal struggles and triumphs. In the midst of these fruitful gatherings, Don Marco, the town's parish priest, expressed his desire to contribute to the project. "I've often preached about the significance of the sacred snow, but perhaps I can share my perspective on how faith manifests itself within our daily challenges. We learn that miracles are not always grandiose, but they often tap into our everyday lives," he proposed emphatically. At the next filming session, Carlo set up in the church where Don Marco lovingly recounted personal stories of parishioners overcoming trials with faith and community support. He illustrated how the act of helping one another echoed the spirit of the original miracle, the warmth of love shining through hardships. "Faith is a living thing," Don Marco said passionately, gesturing to the congregation's pews. "It breathes between us, nurturing hope and instilling the courage to endure." As filming continued, Carlo uncovered the common threads within each narrative, discovering that while the stories differed vastly in content, the underpinning of love, community, resilience, and faith revealed the beauty of life's interconnected existence. No matter the background, each person faced struggles that drew them closer to the divine, demonstrating that miracles were fluid and ever-present, taking countless forms. Through the course of their journey, Carlo's motivation transformed into something deeper. He learned about the healing power of storytelling, the way narratives could unify, echoing across the generations. Each account was a piece of a larger design, forming a network of miracles intertwined with compassion and love. As weeks transitioned into months, the crew's enthusiasm echoed the resilience of the town. The documentary's vision began to crystallize, inviting new interviews and unraveling perspectives on faith and the miracle of the sacred snow. They traveled to neighboring towns, inviting even more voices to join their endeavor. One fateful day, Carlo received an email that left him breathless. It was from a documentary film festival in Rome, inviting him to submit their project. For a moment, he felt both exhilarated and terrified. The thought of showcasing their community stories to a broader audience was overwhelming, but deep down, he knew they had to take this leap. His team gathered to brainstorm again. "We must honor our community's stories when we present it to the world," Carlo urged, his eyes alight with determination. "This project isn't merely about us. It's a tribute to everyone who placed their faith in miracles." Months passed in a whirlwind of editing, refining their work, and balancing school responsibilities. But they poured their hearts into every frame. Finally, the moment arrived wherein they submitted the documentary. Together, they awaited word with bated breath, excited yet apprehensive of the outcome. Weeks later, a letter arrived confirming their acceptance into the festival, a testament to their devotion and effort, bringing tears of joy and disbelief. As they prepared for the event, Carlo couldn't help but reflect on the incredible journey they had undertaken. A journey where each story resonated with love and faith, transforming into a beacon of hope. On the night of the screening, the room buzzed with excitement. Carlo and his crew settled into their seats, hearts pounding as they welcomed a wave of attendees eager to witness the fruits of their labor. The lights dimmed, and the audience fell into hushed silence, their attention riveted. Carlo watched with bated breath as the documentary unfolded, the stories he had gathered coming to life on screen. Faces of friends and neighbors flickered before him, every moment rich with emotion. He could hear the collective gasps, the laughter, the tears, the embodiment of shared experiences resonating with strength. When the screening ended, the auditorium erupted in applause. The audience stood, offering heartfelt recognition for the work they have created, a celebration of extraordinary miracles present in ordinary lives. As Carlo took to the stage for a brief talk, his heart swelled with gratitude. "Thank you all for joining us tonight," he began, his voice steadier than he felt. "These stories belong to our community, a tribute to the miracles we encounter in every moment, encouraging us to lean on one another, uplifting our spirits amid life's challenges." He paused, the warm glow of appreciation washing over him. "We are never alone. We carry the spirit of the sacred snow with us, a reminder that faith weaves through our hearts. May we always find strength in our stories to bridge us together." As he spoke, Carlo realized the ripple effects of this journey were far-reaching. It was not just about documenting miracles for an audience. It was about creating spaces where hope could flourish. And through this project, he had discovered his own miracle, a community that rallied together, supporting each other and lighting the path toward a brighter future. In the months that followed, the documentary continued to circulate, leading to discussions and gatherings across various towns, inspiring many. The sacred snow had taken on new meaning, evolving into an idea that now encompassed the collective spirit of faith and resilience. The stories and the lives behind them reminded everyone that miracles bloom through little acts of love, creating a rich tapestry that would continue to inspire generations. Carlo reflected often on the journey that began with a simple curiosity about a historical event, recognizing how it had transformed into a testament to the power of community and faith. The sacred snow may have fallen just once, but through shared experiences and collective narratives, it continued to blossom, fostering miracles anew with each person's voice blending into the grand tapestry of life. As spring unfurled its vibrant blossoms around Macerata, Carlo felt a renewed surge of energy. The festival celebrating their shared stories had kindled a spirit of resilience, and he knew that the momentum could not be allowed to fade. He began to ponder the next step in their collective journey of faith. It dawned on him that perhaps this was the perfect time to take the initiative to foster connections beyond the walls of their town, sharing the story of the sacred snow with the world. One event in particular captured his imagination, a community film festival focusing on stories of hope and transformation. Carlo envisioned integrating local tales with those from other areas, creating a broader dialogue about miracles that transcended boundaries. He imagined showcasing not only his documentary, but encouraging others to present their narratives, tapping into the very essence of what had made his own project so impactful. With enthusiasm bubbling within him, Carlo gathered his trusted crew and pitched the idea. "What if we host a community film festival dedicated to exploring personal stories of faith?" he suggested, the excitement shining in his eyes. "We could invite filmmakers from surrounding areas, making it an event that celebrates our shared humanity." The crew responded with a mixture of encouragement and inspiration, rapidly brainstorming logistics and potential partners. They considered inviting local schools, filmmakers, and artists to contribute. The excitement spread through the community like wildfire, reinvigorating neighbors and friends in their collective quest to document miracles through storytelling. Within weeks, the preparations for the festival took shape. Flyers announcing the event painted the town, showcasing the promise of transformation and unity. People began submitting their stories, eager to share their experiences of faith, hope, and resilience. Carlo felt a natural rhythm building. This festival wasn't merely an event, it was a movement toward collective healing. As the date approached, Carlo organized outreach programs in local schools, promoting the festival and encouraging students to engage. "Let's explore your stories of faith," he urged. "Our narratives matter, and they can inspire others to believe in miracles." During a workshop at the local high school, students eagerly shared their own experiences. One student named Maria, with bright, curious eyes, stood up, her hands trembling slightly as she spoke. "I used to be closed off, struggling with my self-worth. But finding a community of friends who supported me throughout hardships made me realize how important it is to share joy and love. It was like a miracle, a flower blooming in my heart. Encouraged by her authenticity, Carlo asked Maria if she would consider contributing her story to the festival. When she agreed, excitement rippled through the room, a reminder that even in young voices, hope could resonate profoundly. As interest surged, the preparations culminated in the vibrant celebration. On the day of the festival, the local community center transformed into a cocoon of creativity and inspiration. Banners hung from the ceilings, and tables adorned with themed decor invited attendees to share their thoughts about miracles in an interactive space. Carlo stood at the entrance, greeting guests with a warm smile as they streamed in, excited and eager to connect. Each person carried their own story, and it filled the air with a palpable sense of purpose. He took a moment to soak it all in. The laughter, the animated conversations, the supportive atmosphere was a tapestry woven from bold threads of hope. The festival kicked off with the screening of Carlo's documentary, and as the film played, he felt a wave of emotions wash over him. The audience was enraptured, laughter and tears intertwining as they resonated with the stories depicting struggles and victories. Each frame brought light to the profound humanity of those who dared to share their lives with candor and vulnerability. Following the film, an open mic session invited attendees to come forward and share their own narratives. Carlo watched as one by one people stepped to the front, each story captivating the audience. An older gentleman recounted how the community had come together to support him during health challenges, and his words filled the room with warmth. A couple shared their journey through the trials of infertility, speaking candidly about their struggles and the sense of hope they had discovered together. As stories unfolded, Carlo recognized a pattern surfacing through each one, an intrinsic belief that miracles were woven into life's fabric, found in love, support, and unwavering faith. The lines between the past and present began to blur, forming a collective understanding that each individual held the power to create their own miracles, grounded in community love. As the festival continued, Carlo felt a deep-seated sense of gratitude. The stories that flowed freely were fewer about miracles and more about the perseverance of love driving individuals forward. Ordinary people enduring and overcoming trials in extraordinary ways. Each account celebrated kinship and solidarity, bolstering the community spirit. At one point, amidst the celebrations, Carlo spotted Anya standing quietly to the side, and he encouraged her to share her own insights. Stepping forward, she spoke softly, her words carrying weight in their sincerity. "I used to doubt that faith could exist in my life. After sharing my journey, I've found support and light in this community. Each miracle only grows when we nurture our relationships. We must remember that we are part of something greater." The applause that followed was heartfelt and resonant, enveloping Anya as she stepped back, radiating warmth and acceptance. Carlo could hardly believe how far they had come together. The seeds of faith planted in that dark winter had blossomed into a garden of stories, illuminating the fabric of their collective lives. As the festival drew to a close, Carlo looked around at the vibrant gathering. The atmosphere buzzed with enthusiasm, engaged conversations spilling into laughter and reflection. He felt the weight of hope surrounding him like a warm embrace, affirming their commitment to uplift one another. In that space, he understood the true significance of community, how each shared narrative nurtured the spirit of miracles blooming all around them. The festival had not just captured moments, it had forged connections that could withstand the test of time. The stories gathered here would serve as touchstones, inspiring generations to come and reminding everyone that miracles often thrive within the simple act of believing and sharing. With gratitude filling his heart, Carlo stood before the crowd for the last time that night. Thank you all for contributing to our collective tapestry of faith. Your stories have created a dance of hope that transcends time, uniting us in our shared journeys. Together, we embrace our miracles And together, we sustain this enduring spirit that nurtures our lives through faith, love, and resilience. Together, they marked another chapter in their ongoing story. The sacred snow's legacy would continue to ripple through Macerata as a testament to the beauty of miracles revealed in the unity of shared experiences, illuminating every heart that eagerly sought to believe. In the weeks that followed the festival, the spirit of celebration permeated the community of Macerata, leaving a palpable sense of hope that elevated everyone's daily lives. Carlo felt invigorated by the connections forged during that event and committed himself to continuing to nurture the bonds they had established. The stories shared had not only inspired him, but also created a tapestry of resilience that bound the community together. Carlo knew he had to keep the momentum alive. One afternoon, as he sat in his room, he began sketching ideas for a new initiative, a series of monthly gatherings focused on different themes of courage and faith. Each event would feature storytelling, art, and discussion, allowing individuals a platform to share not just the extraordinary, but also the small, profound moments that connect them as human beings. After sharing this vision with his friends and crew, Carlo organized the first gathering, centered around the theme of acts of kindness. They envisioned a cozy space filled with candles and soft music, where community members would come together to share their experiences of kindness, both given and received. It was essential to emphasize that kindness itself could be a form of miracle, igniting hope and love in unexpected ways. As the day of the gathering approached, Carlo worked tirelessly. He decorated the community center with soft lighting, inviting blankets, and art supplies for those who might wish to create. He felt a nervous excitement as the event grew nearer, wondering how the community would respond to this new concept. On the evening of the event, the air was crisp with the lingering sense of fall. As people began to arrive, Carlo greeted each individual with genuine warmth. He noticed familiar faces, but also new ones, individuals ready to join the circle of connection. The atmosphere buzzed with energy and laughter, setting the tone for what lay ahead. With everyone settled, Carlo introduced the evening. "Welcome, everyone. I'm so grateful you're here tonight to share in this journey of kindness together. Each of you carries a story, whether large or small. They weave together to create a beautiful mural of hope. Let's take a moment to encourage one another as we dive into our experiences." The first storyteller was Marco, a high school student who had initially spoken about his health struggles. This time, he shared an experience where he had stepped out of his comfort zone to help a fellow student who was feeling isolated. He recounted the joy he felt after reaching out, describing how a simple invitation to join a lunch table transformed not only his classmates' day, but also connected them as allies in their struggles. As Marco spoke, Carlo realized the people around him were engaged not just as listeners, but as participants who absorbed the messages of hope woven into each story. The evening flowed seamlessly. Others stepped forward, revealing heartwarming tales of kindness, neighborhood gatherings that fostered friendships, random acts of compassion that carried weight in moments of despair. Laughter mingled with tears as stories echoed through the room, encapsulating the spirit of resilience that had blossomed among them. Each account became a testament to how kindness could spring forth, often unnoticed, yet holding immense power. They reminded everyone present that these acts served as an anchor in tumultuous times, illuminating the shadows. After several contributions, Carlo encouraged everyone to reflect on their own experiences. He distributed small cards and art supplies, inviting attendees to write a note about an act of kindness they had witnessed or had experienced. "Let's create a mural of kindness right here tonight," he proposed, his excitement infectious. These notes will serve as reminders that acts of kindness can inspire one another in profound ways. As people wrote and decorated their cards, an air of creativity enveloped the space. Each card became a small masterpiece filled with words of encouragement, love, and gratefulness for the kindnesses received. Carlo watched as the attendees poured their hearts into this exercise, sharing their stories in tangible forms that would soon come together as a visual tapestry of kindness. Once the cards were completed, they gathered at the front to pin them on a fabric backdrop they had created, a representation of their collective kindness stories. As they stepped back and admired the growing mosaic of experiences, Carlo felt moved by the significance of the moment. Each note brought warmth to the room, encapsulating the beauty of shared experiences that would resonate far beyond that night. The gathering culminated with Carlo reiterating the message. Remember, our acts of kindness weave us together in ways we may never fully comprehend. As we uplift one another, we cultivate a profound sense of community, one that carries love and hope into every corner of our lives. As they closed the evening, people mingled and continued to share stories, new connections forming as they embraced the spirit of kindness. Carlo stepped back, absorbing the warmth of connection radiating through the room. This initiative had evolved into something beautiful, a dynamic movement that echoed the themes of faith, hope, and resilience they had embraced since the festival. As he looked around at the gathering, he knew this was just the beginning. The seeds of kindness planted during these evenings would grow long after they were over, continuing to nurture their relationships and allow miracles of faith to flourish. With a heart full of gratitude and hope, Carlo felt certain that their journey was far from finished. It was an ongoing testament to how, together, they would continue to uncover and celebrate the miracles blooming all around them. A truly deserved lesson. If you agree, please like this video and subscribe for more stories, and tell us what you thought in the comments.